one of the areas where they're still seeing plenty of rescues right now. And you heard Lester Holt talking about those brigades of guys out there on those boats going to rescue people. That's in the Ponderosa area.
That's right. I want to go out to our colleague Joel Eisenbaum. He's been with. They basically pluck families from their homes there. Joel.
Yeah, and they are, it is an incredible scene out here. I've never seen this much water up on houses. We're right off Cypress Creek. It's probably about 4 blocks, what's usually Cypress Creek. All of this is now Cypress Creek. And we are talking about water that is most certainly inundated the entire first floor of a lot of these homes. I mean, Johnny, can you show them that stop sign? That's a stop sign. So what is that? That's 5 or 6 feet up right there. I mean, there is no way that if you're back here, you should be in your house. And so these folks have literally plucked out hundreds of people yesterday and today. This is Captain Dickerson. He works with Ponderosa Fire, and you guys have been at this really constantly for the last 2 days now.
Constantly.
I mean, how's it working? Are people calling in? Do you just make patrols up and down these streets or what?
Dispatch is being overwhelmed, not just with this neighborhood, but several other fire departments in the area. We make patrols, we get call sheets, we hand them out to our folks, and they go out and start picking them up.
Same token, you've run into plenty of people that are still holing up in their houses. I mean, are they holing up in houses that look like this and just staying on the second floor?
We've had people on the second floor, people in the attic, people on the roof, people in trees, so they're everywhere.
It's unbelievable, but you've affected hundreds of safe rescues at this point.
Definitely hundreds.
And so I want to show you something I think is equally as incredible. I mean, this is devastation. This is absolutely awful. These are people's homes. But at the same point, I mean, this is an incredible sight. You cannot see the first floor of this home anymore. This is the roaring torrent that has become Cypress Creek, and we are several blocks away from what is usually the creek bed. If you were to continue going to this way, you would get to 1960, and it's water as far as you can see. And then what are we, about 3 miles west of I-45? Yeah, something like that. And you can see that they've got boats running in and out of here trying to pick up people. But John, show them this. That is a 5-ton Army transporter, completely abandoned and underwater. How you doing, sir? Good to see you, sir. Look at that. That's an Army transporter, one of the toughest trucks you could ever come across, completely underwater. Here's another one. These belong to Precinct 4. Completely underwater. You can barely see these trucks, and you know how big and tall these are. They had to abandon them. They couldn't get them started. They may have been waterlogged at some point. But it gives you a sense of exactly what it looks like in the north and northwest sides of Harris County. I mean, I've never seen it look like this. I mean, I can't believe some of these homes. There are hundreds back here which are flooded at this point.
Hundreds, yes.
Do you think, I mean, is it come, to me, just eyeballing it since I've been here, I mean, it's still coming up?
Yes, we had it recede a little bit when we got a bit of break, but it continues to rise, sometimes faster than normal, but it's continually rising.
Historically, Ponderosa Forest is a place that has flooded. Flooded Tax Day, flooded Memorial Day, right?
Yes.
But nothing like this.
No.
Nothing like this. And you can't really get the sense right now, but I mean, we're a battling current. I mean, you got to have the engine running just to stay steady, just to stay in one place. I mean, this is water that is pushing. I guess this would be pushing from west to east. And you can see some of these cars and houses that are just completely underwater. I mean, would you say, what's amazing to me, and there are a lot of things that you got to note when you're on these trips, but John, can you see that the lights are on in this house over here? You see the lights on, the porch lights, or at least the top deck lights? I'm not even sure how that's possible.
Structure fire here last night we couldn't respond to. We couldn't get any apparatus here.
You had a structure fire right at this spot?
Right in this area. It's hard to tell where it was at, but it's somewhere in this area. We had a fire here last night. And
I mean, you can't get any fire apparatus back here.
No.
You can't get anything but a boat back here.
That's it.
Look at the street sign right there, John. Show them. That's the top of Canyon Creek Road right there. And then some piece of furniture or equipment or something. And watch these power lines as we go under them, because I imagine most of them are live. But you can go for, I would think you could do, a mile or two of boat traveling in this neighborhood, right?
Several miles, depending on which route you took.
And so how are you guys going to work it? Is Ponderosa Fire, which has done an incredible job over these last 2 days, are you guys just going to stay out here? I know that you've picked up everyone that you know of today that wanted a ride, correct?
Yes, just out of this neighborhood. We've got several other crews working several other areas in this area, as well as Spring, surrounding fire department, Spring, Klein, Aldine, Little York.
How many boats did you guys have in the water today?
Ponderosa itself had 2 of their boats, but we had some amazing volunteers show up with their boats. And, you know, we put a person or 2 on it with a radio, and we'd all go out and do what we could.
When you're plucking these folks out of their homes, I mean, I know that is a dire situation. Are they thankful? Do they not wanting to leave? I mean, what is kind of the situation, depending upon who you come across?
They're definitely thankful in a sense. I think they're more shocked than anything. You know, they're trying to deal with the devastation. So, but definitely thankful.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are literally lifesavers. So many of emergency services personnel are doing, what's that street sign? We're going over a street sign right now and a stop sign. So this is, I'm trying to get my bearings. It's hard when you're going in circles in a boat, but basically we're going to circle back and then going that way heads back in?
We're actually heading back out. We got to cut back across to cut the house
back in there. So where is Cypress Creek from where we are right this moment?
Cypress Creek's probably about 4 or 5 blocks. What'd you say?
4 or 5 blocks from here. And then we're sandwiched, basically, the big reference points, and I'll get back to you guys in a minute, but the big reference points you need to know of if you're trying to figure out exactly where Ponderosa Forest is, we're kind of sandwiched in between 249 and 45, and then the southern border would be 1960, and then the creek would be on the north side of that. We're a little closer to the 45 side of that. But there is not a house, at least in this part of the subdivision, that is not almost completely underwater. So do you think, I just want to make this clear, do you think there, when we're looking at some of these houses in the second floors, that there's still people in some of these houses?
I hate to think that, but I know there are some that refuse to come, and they're going to stay.
And how do you deal with that at this point? Do you make note of who's refusing to come? Because they may, I know some people refused yesterday, and they definitely wanted a ride today.
Absolutely. We do make notes of everybody we're making contact with, just to try to keep track of where we've been and who's coming, who's not.
That house is still smoldering.
Yes.
That is a house that didn't survive it. There are all sorts of calamities, of course, that happen when you've got running water coming into contact with electricity and whatever else. And that is a house. Did that go yesterday?
I believe it was overnight. It could have been early this morning.
There's no chance that you can get fire personnel. I mean, as terrible as it is, what are you saving at this point when you're going to battle a fire in a house that's, 6 to 8 feet of water in it? As we make our way, can you get a sense real quick, John, of how much water is actually flowing into this neighborhood? I mean, look at this. This is a river of water. This isn't stagnant water. This is moving, dangerous water. Can you imagine getting caught in this water? Yeah, watch that stop sign there. And it's just block after block of homes that are underwater. Boy, I hope there's nobody stuck back in this stuff. We're going to navigate our way back. We thank you for the work you guys are doing. It's really incredible. And if we could get a break from the rain, it'd be nice. I mean, has it been raining? As long as we've been here, it's basically been raining this morning.
We get our breaks for a few minutes here and there. Sometimes it rains lighter, sometimes it rains harder, and just doesn't stop, though.
It doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped for days. All right, we're live in the Ponderosa Forest subdivision. We're going to kind of head back. That's a car, roof of a car, barely see it. We'll send it back to you in